This is Sniper signing in to another Command and Conquer Red Alert 3 video cast. This time we have a 3v3 on the map, Magmageddon, spawning in the top left position for team left side. This is the orange allies. It is Mknappen. His ally in the center left position, spawning as the red Empire of the Rising Sun, we have GreekGift. Probably a Smurf, most likely a Smurf if I had to guess. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the yellow allies, this is Apple.Bee. And spawning on the top right position on team right side, the blue Empire, this is SuperPower. And spawning his ally in the center right position as the green Soviet player, this is Goldy. And spawning in the bottom right position, rounding out team right side or team 2, this is SaleeN. Spawning is the purple Empire. Alright, so we have some initial skirmishes coming out already. It looks like Goldy has already managed to get one bear at least over here, caused just a little bit of trouble. Nothing too terribly substantial. However, it does look like SuperPower is making a play. He's trying to make a play for this dojo, but it's not gonna. I do not see that going anywhere. I've had this happen to me all too much. You get your dojo camped by the dogs, and there's just not much you can do aside from quite literally that. Is just sell it off and hope you can get the bonsai charge with someone. Oh, would you look at this? SuperPower is trying to send dojo cores everywhere, but that time a burst drone actually came down and detonated on top of it and heavily damaged the thing. That's actually very nice indeed. Laser locking javelin from Apple.Bee, pardon me, does wind up taking down that dojo, but it looks like the Imperial Warriors are enough to chase them into that riptide there. Engineer coming out, likely to recapture that oil derrick as needed. Do we have any expansion? No, that's just a dog. What am I thinking? That's just a dog. Looks like Goldy does have 2 sickles and a terror drone already out pressuring the front of GreekGift. Have those tank busters jumping down into their spider holes. However, they will be overrun to those sickles. Looks like we have an engagement of infantry here on the top side between our orange ally player Mknappen and SuperPower, and the Imperial Warriors will be claiming victory from this fight. As long as there's one warrior, or well, I say that in the infantry fight, it looks like SuperPower will be claiming victory. However, not quite in the overall fight, since there are Vindicators there to help mop up. Looks like we have a heavy push coming in from the bottom side. SaleeN is coming in, well, was heavy anyway. SaleeN got over that airfield, got some camping shots off. Very nice, very nice indeed. And took down a couple of those Vindicators. As a random sickle from Goldy there, just kind of chilling out in front of that mecha bay. And looks like the MCV for Mknappen has taken a forward position, however is getting very slowly whittled away by a conscript lobbing Molotov cocktails on them. Looks like Terror Drone does get discovered and destroyed, however it does cost 1 Tengu. Those Tengus will be retreating as the hammer tanks will indeed drive them back, but however there are those Vindicators. 2 Vindicators equals 1 dead hammer tank. Very nice indeed. 2 Apollo fighters coming out from Mknappen that will definitely help maintain that air superiority. We have a dojo coming back down. It's that's not a sickle. That is a sudden transport. I was kind of wondering about that actually. I'm kind of sitting here thinking, if that was really a sickle, why isn't it in use? And hold the phone. We have an MCV push coming out from Apple.Bee. This MCV push, this type of MCV style pushing play. Oh, here we go. We have a Tesla coil coming up on the base, or in the base area for SaleeN. Barracks going down. Looks like he's going to go for that engineer and try and force the sell-off of that refinery. Is it going to be festive? The multi-gunner turret comes down to cover that barracks so that nothing can be crushed. Is that engineer going to make it? Does he see it? Does he see it? What's he doing? What's he doing? Is he going for the mecha? He just gets run over. He would have been... Oh, Apple.Bee. Apple.Bee. You would have been so much better just going for the refinery and either getting the refinery and selling it or forcing the sell-off. Looks like the MCV has been forced back a little bit. It was under attack when it was deployed back here, and he tried to pack it up and run it. Apple.Bee did, but the purple Japanese forces from SaleeN did pursue, and now that is the end of the allied MCV. That is all she wrote, and I do think that's actually all she wrote for our yellow allied player. For in general, Apple.Bee, I think that's it for Apple.Bee. That's, I think, all he's got. I wouldn't be surprised if he sold. Not sold. I wouldn't be surprised if he just, there he goes. He taps out the game right there. Apple.Bee does go down, handing off those refineries to his ally GreekGift, giving him that much little bit of extra income to work with. Looks like SaleeN has taken this naval expansion here, as it has been scouted by team left side, but there's not very much they can do about it. Looks like Goldy is hitting some power trouble. Does have a super reactor online, but is still hitting some power trouble nonetheless. Checking in on the top front, we have some Imperial Warriors backed by Tank Busters and Striker VXs going for that double dojo play. Very strong indeed, as the Empire reminds me of a game I played not too terribly long ago. Well, it's been a couple weeks now, but I wound up all-inning someone with my Conyard. It's being sold off, and I had 3 dojos. That was fun. Point defense drones coming on down, throwing down those point defense drones, and nano deflectors is what I was trying to say to get that scout off. But oh, Peacekeepers right in those turrets. Oh, Peacekeeper anti-infantry turrets are too good. They are super effective. Looks like 2 tsunami tanks going on the harass. Going to be taking down this refinery here that was turned over to GreekGift from his ally Apple.Bee. The bullfrogs are forcing back the jet tengus from team left side from GreekGift. But oh, they're flying back up the bullfrogs. Ouch. Does lose another bullfrog, but there are enough mecha tengus. Oh, the MCV is actually on a push, but we have a two-pronged engagement here. Looks like SuperPower is being pushed back by the allied base defenses and infantry. A small armored force here could be coming down to launch a double assault with Goldy. Looks like Goldy, his MCV, is facing some trouble. He's getting massive crushes off, but with every crush, he takes a substantial chunk of damage, and that is that. That's all she wrote for that MCV, but there is a lot of damage being dealt from Goldy on this one. A lot of damage indeed, and now it looks like SaleeN is joining the fun, committing a hammer tank of his to the fight. That bullfrog, I would have liked to have seen those strikers from SaleeN. Now they're coming back. Oh no, those aren't SaleeN's, those are SuperPowers. My bad, terrible bad. We do have a couple of jet tankers coming in from SaleeN. It looks like just kind of hounding or hovering around the area. And what? SaleeN was defeated? What? Did he lose his MCV? I guess he lost his MCV somewhere. Yeah, I guess he did. He lost his MCV somewhere. And then we know Goldy lost his MCV, but there is still a war factory, so there is still hope for him to rebuild. Looks like that push into GreekGift's base was indeed pushed back. Those Striker VXs and Mecha Tankers and Tank Busters just proved to be too good. Looks like GreekGift's expansion is under harassment from these 2 tsunami tanks that are now under the control of Goldy. That's where these chopper VXs were going. Gonna start getting that weaker one first, and now gonna go straight for the heroic tsunami tank. Does activate those nano deflectors, but that is not enough. Hands off that elite status to that chopper VX. We have some combat going on up here on the top of the map. Looks like SuperPower is trying to make a push into allied territory, but this is quite the impressive fire base is going in here. And point defense drones coming in from GreekGift, trying to support his ally and give those Guardian tanks a little bit of an extra edge versus the Imperial armor force here. Honestly, this is a very sizable force coming in from the allies, but it looks like, hold the phone, we have another clash of forces coming in. We have the Japanese Air Force from GreekGift. Looks like they are going head to head with the Soviet armor power and the one lone MiG covering the sky. Whoa, Goldy, what are you doing? What are you doing, Goldy? What are you doing? This is not gonna work. Goldy, Goldy, if you lose those MiGs, if he shoots down those MiGs, did he get it? Did he get it? They weren't shooting. They weren't shooting. They weren't shooting. Some of the Striker VXs on the ground were not shooting, but looks like SuperPower has lost ground on the top of the map. The orange allied player Mknappen has been pushing forward. Does have cryocopters and guardian tanks pushing the issue. And SuperPower's front line is getting absolutely decimated. It is only a matter of time before that MCV can kiss his life goodbye. Does get the pack up there, but the MCV is shrunk, meaning it can do nothing at all. There's absolutely nothing that can be done about this allied force. This allied force is just running rubshot over everything. That is not the best place with Tesla Coil. I would have recommended that thing going back here, maybe behind the mecha base, so it has that much extra cover versus the incoming allied onslaught. All of these guardian tanks, javelin troopers, and peacekeepers. This is indeed a critical mass of just stuff. Just so much stuff is running over everything that SuperPower has, and there it is. SuperPower has been defeated. Throws in the towel, and these twin blades are the last hurrah for Goldy. Nice micro from GreekGift, transforming that Striker VX right whenever the twin blade rocket salvo would have come bearing down and hit him head on. Very, very nice indeed. So that Striker VX is back on the ground. 2 more strikers coming in to reinforce, and that twin blade does get the kill. Yes, it does get away. It does get away, but there's still the problem of this force. There's nothing that can be done about it. Goldy has got access to really, I guess, 2 bases. Yes, 2 bases. He's moved his Conyard down here, but now we are in a 2v1 situation, and I'm quite frankly having a little bit of trouble believing or imagining what Goldy can really do about this. There is just so much stuff that he has to go through to claim victory, to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and I think that is just a bit too much of a tall order to be met. It looks like the remnants of team left side from Mknappen and GreekGift are moving in for a pincer attack. The Soviet armor is prepared to hold the line against the Allied armor, but now all of these Guardian tanks, all of these, or most of these Guardian tanks have point defense drones. I see it already 3 that are heroic status tanks that are also having the point defense drones applied to them. That is deadly, deadly indeed. Looks like some Tesla coils going down for Goldy to guard his expansion from on the southern flank. And it looks like Goldy's not going to give up. He's going to keep going. Oh, props to you, Goldy. Keep on going. He's got these war factories. So it's that war factory working overtime. I see some combat over here. That has some twin blade harass going after the economy of Goldy. Does score himself a heroic twin blade. That's very, very nice indeed. 2 cryocopters and 2 vindicators. I'm sure the Apollo fighters are around here somewhere. And well, okay, so these twin blades are actually getting a good bit of damage done, but he's gonna want to be careful. Here come the reinforcing strikers. He needs to move. All of these twin blades are going to get mopped up. How many MiGs? He's going to lose all of his air force, and that could potentially be bad. This could be even worse if he's pushing. Mknappen's pushing right now. If he gets in range of this many frozen tanks, Goldy needs to throw every ground unit he has at them all at once just to make sure they live. Emperor's Rage is going down. The Soviet force is being crushed. Oh no, half of the Soviet force is still frozen, and now those MiGs would really come in handy. Granted, there are Apollo fighters or javelin. There is everything here. Goldy needs everything to stop this army, and he has virtually nothing. I think this is it. I think this will conclude this 3v3 on Magmageddon. There is so much stuff. The volume of stuff just being thrown at Goldy. I'm giving props to Goldy. Good job staying in the fight. You do not want to give up, and that is you are very determined. You're a very, very determined player. But in this situation, it's just hard to imagine a player coming back, no matter how good the micro or how much of a base he has access to. Choppers will just completely wreck this super reactor, and I'm guessing since GreekGift is microing, I'm guessing that super reactor explosion does hit aircraft. And is there very much happening? No, not really. There's a small force of hammer tanks here trying to rebuild an airfield down here. Already rebuilt this super reactor. It's running on the Japanese refineries. pardon me, the Japanese refineries left to him by his ally. But it looks like that is a Chopper VX. Chopper VX. Hey, what? Okay, Chopper VX from Goldy. Cool. Oh, how many heroics? We have 4 hero Chopper VXs, and the elite one does go down. But they're one instant heroic. Bullfrog and another Bullfrog goes down. MiGs are here. Both that, oh, that's gonna do it. I think that might mark the end. No, it's not done yet. These 2 Chopper VXs are still going strong. We do have 1 MiG in the sky. This thing's going to get infected near immediately, but that heroic MiG does go down. So much stuff just going down. So much of the Air Force going down for GreekGift, but at this point, I don't think it really matters. The Allied arm, there is such a powerful force of Allied Guardian tanks and a mixture of infantry in support. Mknappen's base is just going everywhere. It looks like he has a knack for dropping dual multi-gunner turrets whenever he's wanting to defend a new front. Definitely not a poor choice to make at all. It's always nice to defend your assets. Looks like oil derrick for Goldy will be going down as more Chopper VXs from GreekGift do decide to fly on over and see what can be done. Builds an airfield there. So he has 2. Okay, so he has 2 airfields now. Maybe planning on some extra MiGs. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, gonna go for some MiGs. Chopper VXs do harass that collector, take it out, which means now this refinery is effectively useless. But they do, they spot the MCV, forcing the sell off, getting what cash boost from that structure he can. When you have to sell your MCV, when you're up against when you see that many Chopper VXs and you're forced to sell your MCV, I think the writing's is just about on the wall. But what in the world is Mknappen doing? Did he just like step? Well, I see he's microing these Apollos. He has a heroic Apollo fighter. He has 2 heroic Apollo fighters. Oh, that's just brutal. Oh, is he gonna send? Is that engineer really gonna make it? That engineer it looks like he just might make it to this oil derrick for the capture. That would be the most legendary engineer that has ever graced the presence of Red Alert 3. There is a Chopper VX responding to the matter, but he does capture it. All right, so he does insta-cap it there. I guess this is an older replay then, as it's, I believe, the current patch. You have to like stop and the engineer takes a second to go and cap it. But I could just totally be imagining that part. Mknappen, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mknappen? It's just formation positioning, sort of. It looks like a relatively nice formation, and then you just have this right here, just this blob, just the infantry ball. That's just like, nah, we're not gonna get into formation. We're just gonna stand here all in a ball, and we're gonna talk to each other. But it looks like behind this, Mknappen is just kind of going everywhere, wanting to expand out and get more of the northern side of the map under his control. It looks like they're just slowly picking Goldy apart. Oh, the Soviet MCV gets caught again. Is he going to try and save it? He's bringing MiGs, trying to preemptively get in position for that crush, but the Chopper VX has just had too much DPS and just insta-sniped all 4 of those MiGs. Oh, but now I think this might seal their fate, though. This might seal the fate of all these strikers. Oh, I say that. Here come all the cryocopters. Here come the cryocopters, and now the cryocopters versus shrunken bullfrogs. That's all she wrote. All those bullfrogs just got absolutely cleaned up. Those striker VXs are still currently running unchallenged throughout this side of the map. So many anti-air units for Goldy have been taken out, and here we go again. 2 more MiGs. 2 more MiGs completely gone. Bullfrog on the scene. However, when those strikers transform back up, he will likely be sniped down very, very quickly. It looks like Goldy did sell one of those Tesla coils that was like around there somewhere. Either sold it or it got taken out by something, but can't really agree with that one. Another MCV. But this time all the strikers do go down. Finally he keeps a heroic meg out of it, but then we have the block of orange here in the middle of the map. Just the block of orange. Now, one thing that would really make the difference here is Desolator Airstrike. Looks like there is a Desolator Airstrike here, and that is an orbital drop power coming down here. That was Desolator Dual. Yes, Desolator Dual Airstrike that came down. Looks like those multi-gunner turrets. Does he have two? What? Does he have two MCVs? Yes, he does. That explains how that's happening. That it definitely explains how he's getting this dual multi-gunner turret pressure coming in. Wow. Talk about the Tengus now all outfitted with Emperor's Rage and point defense drones. Okay. I think that's just a little bit of overkill, alright? That's just a little overkill. Like, let's be real here, okay? It does wind up Emperor's Raging one of Goldy's tanks, but I don't think that really matters for anything. Wow, I called this game several minutes ago now, and wow, what is going on? Goldy is still hanging on. He's still going for the harass. Takes down one collector and will likely get this entire refinery. Down it goes. And just conscripts, hammer tanks, flak troopers, terror drones. It's just a lot of hammer tanks. Actually, as many hammer tanks as he can possibly build. Looks like the entire allied force is having to respond. Oh no, they're gonna come in on the tail end of the army and they're gonna sandwich. Goldy's army is gonna get sandwiched. If Goldy manages to catch these Guardian tanks out, ooh, that's an opportunity. That is one possible opportunity if Goldy is able to circumvent the tanks from team left side. He could potentially go for a gigantic crush move on this infantry force. Cryogeddon. No, okay. Drives back into the Cryogeddon. So much stuff is just gonna be frozen. So much stuff is frozen. It's all gonna die. And then suddenly the Allies' just unstoppable force comes in. And looks like the Tengus from GreekGift have just landed inside of the last bastion of hope, the last base for Goldy. And down he goes. Goldy has been defeated. Very nice game from all of those players, and that was definitely a longer holdout time for Goldy than I would have thought. Most definitely, well, mainly because Mknappen just kind of sat and chilled for a few minutes. Yeah, I think he had the power to just roll in there and crush him, but maybe it was like a gentleman's agreement or something like that in the chat, since I do not believe we have the chat logs for replays. Perhaps he was offered one final attack just to see what he could do, and that was a very nice attempt from Goldy to get that one last hoorah out onto the map before he was overwhelmed. Taking a look at these units, just look at that, just a ball, just an absolute ball of allied infantry and tanks. That was nuts. That was absolutely bonkers. Looking at that resource graph, though, looks like Goldy actually had a lot more money than really, I think either of these guys. Maybe either of these guys combined, but Goldy was definitely in a good position economically, most definitely without a doubt, but it was just a matter of he had to fight on multiple fronts, and as a result, his spending was less than efficient, as when he would leave one front to micro another, then that one front that was not given attention was handled inefficiently, and perhaps some losses were sustained that could have been avoided. Taking a look at that summary, we have 23 minutes and 21 seconds for the game. Whoo-wee! Whoo! Look at that. Look at those resources. 240,000 ore versus... Oh, there's the two closest on the other side that stayed within the game. 140,000 and 174,000 versus just a mere 12,000 for Apple.Bee. 58,000 for SuperPower and 35,000 rather for SaleeN. Very wow, much money, such wow. But look at this, the KD ratio for SaleeN was actually nuts. That was bonkers. 2.55. It was even more bonkers for Mknappen over here. Just this giant death ball of just stuff. Just this giant death ball of stuff. It's this KD ratio here for his units. This is the reason why this 240,000 value for Goldy was more or less negated. Just Goldy was just getting all, it's like feeding his stuff right into the meat grinder. Every time the allied death ball just came down upon it, it was just, well, there's nothing more we can do from here. Overall, very nice game from all of these players. GG and very well played. It's much longer holdout from Goldy than I personally expected, but entertaining all the same. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. And this is Sniper signing out.